we will see our beginning components almost lower back to 13. Really, we are not wandering into the realness of these speculations these days for the most outrageous part, since the inestimable close by nearby has as of now perceived that our course of action of focuses on this universe kicks off the colossal impact. The psyche that succeeded the colossal blast is other than established on a comparable ordinary indication of this first experience with the field, with the special case of if you're a geek who has gone through hours looking at changed stunning impressions of the immense bang. To be fair, the event transformed into an excess of an effect in a way of talking. Fundamentally put, the huge explosion saw as its spot to begin in a single component, a point that was ad infinitum hot and thick, likewise improved to beyond absurd lengths. All of this passed off while the universe was unbelievably energetic. Believe it or not, at the hour of the expansive blast, the universe was really 10 to the force of 34 seconds old. That is 1 centesimal of a billionth of a trillionth of a second in age. This is where the universe experienced a staggering impact of progress, in any case suggested as the unbelievable effect or, on the other hand, the advancement. During this procedure, space widened faster than the speed of light. Our universe changed into being stacked with every particle we found out about in our science class. Protons, neutrons, electrons, enemies of electrons, photons, and neutrinos. The presence of the tremendous blast is extraordinary while allegorically it shows up. Yet the way that we interpret the universe's presentation is astoundingly hypothetical. We've made critical advancement beginning from the chief moon landing, and from that point forward, our mechanical progress has progressed firmly. At the moment that experts were zeroing in on the colossal blast, it relied upon numerical recipes and reasonable plans. They would never have possibly evaluated that we would inspect the imperil of life on Mars. There have been basic pushes in our interest to break down the universe and examine space, yet at the day's end, our bleeding-edge advancement is extremely confined. We can't imitate the tremendous explosion or peer back at the genuine event. Our best piece of evidence comes from the immense microwave establishment, which has allowed researchers to see the reverberation of the colossal impact. While this instrument is weighty in the assessment of the universe, it is besides speculatively confined. So while our total history lays on hypothetical models, genuine hypotheses have a tremendous degree to be undermined. We are almost certain about the gigantic explosion as the start of our universe. Still, there are some repercussions. We have misinterpreted hypotheses about our universe. They are all around laid out on information lean to human botch. A piece of our records is also significantly definitive about the enormous bang. Defaming the speculation is inconvenient, as the theory is that our universe is as however broadening. Our foremost gadget in investigating the gigantic blast has been the Hubble Space Telescope, and by, everyone's attention is on the remarkable precision of the James Webb Space Telescope. Already, we used these burglarized strong creative units. One of the most questioned subjects in vast examination was the universe's headway. Assuming you look at course readings from the mid-1990s, you'd find discussions about how the universe is stretching out. While the universe is expanding, we couldn't totally fathom what the expansion of the universe includes. The James Webb Space Telescope has brought us new revelations that propose the universe has ended broadening. This continuous day heavenly event infers that our appreciation of the universe's way could need to change. Currently, continuing jumping into the repercussions of this notable development from our universe's course, we should look at our impression of this confounding eccentricity. No matter what the limitless utilization of the terms effect and advancement, the creation of the universe wasn't exactly therefore. Researchers acknowledge that our appreciation of the universe should create as demonstrated by NASA. The universe didn't wander into space, as there was no such thing as space ahead of time. Rather, it's more intelligent to consider the huge explosion as the simultaneous appearance of room any place inside the universe. Our discernment uncovers that our universe has experienced areas of soundness for a per-period resentful about the course of action of room. At first, the universe was totally dull and swoon until loads of gas changed over into stars and galactic systems. Truly at that time did the universe rise out of its cosmic faint ages. Here's a bit sporadic truth. Our nearby planetary system appeared 9 billion years after the immense blast. Space has been stretching out over the long lobby containing matter with its dynamic advancement. To put it certainly, the universe isn't stretching out in the way in which we envision or grasp. The dynamic stretching out of space goes previously the expansion of the universe to the extent that we may be worried. Regardless of the reality that fathoming it is tangled, it is crucial for handle the aftereffects of what we will get a handle on. For this video, we'll continue using the term advancement of the universe to recommend the powerful addition of our space. Basically, in light of the fact that even analysts utilize the framing to portray the new divulgence made by the James Webb Space Telescope. The divulgence that the universe has stopped developing is both amazing and conflicting with our past theoretical sorting out. Researchers were convinced that the universe was extending at an accelerated rate since its beginning stage. They had gathered enormous evidence using the Hubble Space Telescope, so this isn't NASA reconsidering its past seeing. Rather, it is an absolutely new occasion that is legitimate, irreversible. While the divulgence is basic, it isn't exorbitantly is to be expected. Talking about gravity, our universe was persistently disposed to a recollapse if it had a sizable measure of energy density. The improvement would stop absolutely, and our universe could go in reverse to dive into this. We start with dull energy, which gets back to the 1990s. NASA and its experts had a couple unequivocal contemplations concerning the universe's improvement, with gravity being the principal unit. However, the speed of the universe improvement should have moved back after some time. Observational data showed the reverse. In 1998, the Hubble Space Telescope uncovered that the universe was stretching out at an accelerating rate. This was in resistance to what was at that point known, illustrating that gravity alone couldn't appear to be legit of the faster speed increment. Analysts proposed dull energy as the force causing the speed expansion, in spite of the way that we have scarcely any understanding into it. Dull energy makes up an enormous piece of our universe, while ordinary matter simply includes around 5%. Given the presence of dim energy, why has our universe stopped expanding? Specialists are at this point learning about this quirk. Assuming we look at the duel among gravity and dull energy, one likelihood is that gravity is by overwhelming faint energy, stopping the universe's advancement. Then again, gravity could have started decreasing the effects of dull energy. All of a sudden, we want huge observational and speculative verification to legitimize changes in how gravity works together with the universe. A couple of researchers, like Brian Cox, have contemplated the completion of the universe. As demonstrated by Cox, the end may come in dim lack of definition as the universe contracts. It would take around 6 billion years for this to happen, and we might see the sun cool off and the universe break down into a single dim opening. In cosmology, one significant subject is the universe's conclusive future, which integrates the possibility of the colossal crunch. This event happens when the universe's thickness is sufficient to stop its expansion and begin contracting. Strongly understudied, we can predict the finish of the universe. Assuming gravity turns out to be amazingly strong, it could cut through the texture of spacetime, making the universe collapse onto itself. Here is the continuation and finishing of the sprinkled text. If gravity turns out to be very amazing, it could cut through the texture of spacetime, causing the universe to fall onto itself. As the universe gets the infinite frameworks, stars and planets will draw nearer together, eventually prompting a situation where all matter joins into a singular boundlessly thick point like the state before the huge explosion. This speculation, known as the enormous crunch, recommends that the universe's development will not continue perpetually. All things being equal, it will switch coming full circle in an inestimable breakdown. However, ever this remains hypothetical, and progressing perceptions and information from instruments like the James Webb Space Telescope will be fundamental in refining our seeing. No matter what the upsetting ramifications of these speculations, they highlight the dynamic and ever-changing nature of the universe. Our information on the universe is continually developing, driven by innovative headways and new disclosures. As we continue to investigate and study the universe, we could reveal more about the major powers shaping our universe and its definitive destiny. While the probability that the universe has stopped growing is both disturbing and progressive, it is an indication of the tremendous inquiries by the way we may interpret the universe. The trade among gravity and dim energy remains one of the most unmistakable mysteries in present-day space science. As we gather more information and refine our hypotheses, we move nearer to unwinding the mysterious nature of our universe and its critical suggestions for the future. Do we will notice our beginning components almost lower back to 13? Honestly, we are not wandering into the genuineness of these speculations these days for the best part. Since the enormous area region has right now recognized that our game plan of focuses on this universe kicks off the enormous impact. The brain that succeeded the gigantic blast is other than established on a comparative common indication of the first experience with the field. Yet, on the off chance that you're a geek who has gone through hours looking at changed fabulous perspectives on the immense blast. To be straightforward, the event changed into an excess of an effect in a way of talking. Essentially put, the enormous blast saw as its spot to begin in a particular component. A point that was in fin hot and thick and improved to absurd lengths. All of this passed off while the universe was unbelievably young, in all honesty. At the hour of the wide blast, the universe was genuinely 10 to the force of 34 seconds old. That is 1 centesimal of a billionth of a trillionth of a second in age. Here, the universe encountered an astonishing impact of progress, generally suggested as the disgraceful influence or the advancement. During this procedure, space extended faster than the speed of light. Our universe changed into being stacked with every iota we found out about in our science class. Protons, neutrons, electrons, enemies of electrons, photons, and neutrinos. The presence of the tremendous explosion is strong. Well, metaphorically, it shows up. Yet the way that we interpret the universe's presentation is astoundingly theoretical. We've made critical advancement beginning from the first moon landing. Also from that point forward, our mechanical progress has progressed unequivocally. Right when investigators were zeroing in on the huge explosion, it relied upon numerical recipes and predictable styles. They could never have possibly evaluated that we would investigate the imperil of life on Mars. There have been basic moves in our advantage to examine the universe and examine space. Yet despite everything at the day's end, our forefront development is extremely limited. We can't replicate the colossal explosion or peer back at the genuine event. Our best piece of verification comes from the pretentious microwave establishment, which has allowed experts to see the resounding of the enormous impact. While this instrument is historic in the assessment of the universe, it is too speculatively confined. So while our total history lays on speculative models, steady hypotheses have a tremendous expansion to be undermined. We are almost certain about the tremendous blast as the start of our universe. Still, there are a few repercussions we have misinterpreted hypotheses about our universe. Are all things considered laid out on information leaned to human mix-up? A piece of our records is furthermore uncommonly definitive about the gigantic bang. It is inconvenient to invalidate the speculation. The universe is a tremendous and puzzling place loaded up with endless miracles and secrets ready to be disentangled from the littlest subatomic particles to the largest systems. There is such a huge amount about the universe that we presently can't seem to see completely. One of the most charming parts of the universe is its definitive destiny. Will it proceed expanding endlessly? Or will it in the end break down in on itself in a calamitous occasion known as the huge crunch? Researchers have been considering these inquiries for a really long time, and keeping in mind that we have gained critical headway in our understanding. There is still a lot of we do not realize. One hypothesis suggests that the universe will keep on growing for eternity, bit by bit becoming colder and hazier as stars wear out and universes float separated. In this situation, the universe will in the end become a barren and void with no life or light excess. Another chance is that gravity will in the end defeat the extension of the universe, making it break down back in on itself. This would prompt a blazing end known as the huge crunch, where all matter is packed into a solitary place of endless thickness. Obviously, these are just hypotheses, and the genuine destiny of the universe stays uncertain. But notwithstanding what occurs eventually, one thing is clear. The universe is a dynamic and ever-changing place loaded with excellence and miracle beyond our most stunning minds.